Welcome back to another Midnight Tales. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the channel. Oh, and don't forget to hit the notification bell too. Bloodline.
The rain hadn't stopped in 3 days. Detective Marcus Hale sat in his unmarked car, cigarette smoke curling against the windshield as his eyes tracked the glow of the liquor store across the street. Another robbery. Same method, same calling card left behind. A single black feather tucked into the register. His knuckles tightened around the wheel. Whoever this ghost was, they had been leading him in circles for months, taunting him with precision. Through the drizzle, the shadow appeared, a slim figure in a hood, movements sharp, confident, almost too confident. Marcus leaned forward, pulse quickening. The figure slipped inside the store, no hesitation, no wasted motion. Seconds later, shouting, glass shattering. The same damn ritual. Marcus pushed the door open, rain soaking his trench coat, his revolver cold in his hand. He could already feel it, the rhythm, the familiarity of it all. And then he heard it. A voice, just one word, barked at the cashier. "Move!" Marcus froze. That voice. He knew that voice. Not from the streets, from his home. From years ago when bedtime stories still mattered and laughter filled the kitchen. It couldn't be. The hooded figure turned as the bell over the door chimed, their gaze locked across the dim store. And beneath the mask, Marcus saw the eyes. Hazel, flecked with green, the same as his own. Flashback. Long before the feathers, before the city whispered about a thief they couldn't catch, Marcus had another life. His daughter, Lila, was 13 the night her mother left. Marcus remembered standing in the doorway as Lila clutched the kitchen counter, trembling with fury. "She's not coming back, is she?" she asked. Her voice cracked, but her eyes stayed hard. Marcus tried to pull her into his arms, but she shook him off. "Don't tell me it'll be okay. You're never here. You don't know anything about me." He carried that moment like a scar. His cases swallowed him, drug busts, midnight stakeouts, endless reports, and Lila drifted further into shadows he couldn't follow. He caught glimpses, reports from school about fights, calls from neighbors about loud music, whispers about the older crowd she was running with. The last real conversation they had was on her 17th birthday. She sat across the table from him, untouched cake between them, her fingers tapping out a restless rhythm on the wood. "You only show up when someone's broken the law," she muttered. "That's my job." She looked him dead in the eye. "Then maybe one day you'll come looking for me." At first, the burglaries felt like whispers in the night, too clean, too precise. Jewelry shops emptied without alarm sounding. Pawn shops gutted while cameras mysteriously looped the same 10 minutes of footage. Marcus admired the skill in silence, never imagining the hands behind it. But the city buzzed. Whoever it was had flair. They left nothing behind except that single black feather, tucked neatly where only investigators would find it. Some called them the Crow. Others said they were a ghost, a shadow. Marcus, buried in case files, could only think, they're smart, too smart. Then came the museum job, a quiet night shift, an aging guard named Benson. The vault was stripped of rare coins and antiquities, the kind that made headlines. But Benson never went home. His body was found slumped near the loading dock, skull cracked with a crowbar. The air in the precinct changed after that. These weren't just burglaries anymore. This was blood in the water. The mayor wanted answers, the press wanted names, and Marcus, he wanted sleep. He studied the reports until his eyes bled. The pattern was there, a rhythm he could almost touch. And in the pit of his stomach, an ache grew. Something about the timing, the roots, the way the crow moved. It all felt familiar, like someone who'd been studying him as long as he'd been studying them. But he locked it down. No names, no theories, just the work. He'd catch the crow one way or another. Present, the liquor store. Marcus's revolver didn't waver, but his hand felt suddenly heavier than it had in 20 years on the job. The figure's pistol was steady too, yet their breathing hitched, shallow and uneven. Drop it, Marcus repeated, quieter now, like he was talking to a child instead of a criminal. The hood slipped back just enough for the flicker of fluorescent light to catch hazel eyes. Those eyes, his eyes, locked onto him with a mixture of defiance and recognition. Dad. The word came out strained, barely audible. Marcus's stomach hollowed, the syllable cut deeper than any bullet could. For a heartbeat, he wasn't standing in a liquor store with rain dripping from his coat. He was back in that kitchen, birthday cake untouched, his daughter staring him down with the same fire. Lila, he said, voice trembling. His finger slackened on the trigger. What the hell are you doing? Her lips twitched into the faintest smirk, but her pistol never dropped. Guess you finally came looking. The cashier whimpered behind the counter, glancing between them like a trapped animal. Marcus raised a hand, palm out toward Lila. It doesn't have to be this way, he whispered. Her eyes flicked to the door, then back to him, calculating. Always calculating. You think I wanted it to be this way? She said. The air thickened. Neither moved. Father and daughter, hunter and hunted, caught in the same crosshair. Then she made her move. A shot at the mirror, glass shattering, sparks flying, an escape carved in chaos. And Marcus was left holding the feather she dropped. The chase. Marcus burst through the rain-slicked alleys, chasing her shadow. She vaulted fences, turned corners ahead of his instincts. Every shortcut he thought of, she had already taken. Sirens grew closer, backup closing in, and still she ran. At the far end of the alley, she turned just long enough for the streetlight to catch her face. Catch me, Dad, she whispered before disappearing into the storm. The precinct. The precinct buzzed with suspicion and pressure. Ruiz demanded answers. The mayor wanted blood. Marcus sat silent, cigarette smoke curling, eyes locked on the board filled with feathers and maps. He lied to them, said he never saw her face. But inside he knew the truth. The crow wasn't a case. The crow was his daughter. Lila's hideout. Lila stripped off her soaked hoodie, collapsed on her mattress. She pulled out a box of trophies, her fingers brushing the old carnival photo. She hated that he saw her, hated that he still cared. And yet, his voice echoed in her head. It doesn't have to be this way. She crushed the tear before it could fall. She was the crow, and the crow couldn't afford to feel. The diamond exchange. Another heist. Another confrontation. Marcus cornered her in a jewel-lit standoff, alarms screaming red. Father and daughter, guns raised, truth laid bare. You only show up when there's a crime scene, she snapped. Guess that makes me the only way to keep you around. You're still my little girl, Marcus rasped. His gun lowered. Hers trembled. For a flicker, the mask cracked. But then she made her choice, dropped the gun, dropped the feather, and vanished into the skylight before SWAT stormed in. Aftermath! The precinct turned on Marcus. Ruiz's fury echoed in his ears. Taken off the case, threatened with losing his badge, but Marcus only heard her voice. Catch me, Dad. And he vowed he would. Not for the city, for her. Epilogue. From the rooftops at dawn, Lila watched the precinct. She touched the locket around her neck, the photo of them folded inside. You caught me, she whispered to the wind, but you'll never hold me. And the city swallowed her shadow once again. Oh, you have now concluded another Midnight Tales. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.